Hey Team EQRRC, this is Coach Wes, and we're here at Taper Week, Race Week, whatever you want to call it. We are about 5 short days away from the Orange County Half Marathon. It's this coming Sunday, and you guys will take to that start line bright and early at 6:15. And I just want to give you a couple tips heading into that race day so that when you do get to that starting line, you just need to have a good day. You don't need to have a great day. You don't need to have a miraculous day. Just a good day, something you've already put in plenty of different times over the course of the spring season. And since we're here on Wednesday, we can talk just a little bit about how to alter your nutrition. And I want to start by saying that the amount that you're going to alter your nutrition is probably fairly slightly. I know we are all well aware of carb loading and really going with lots and lots of carbohydrates as we go into a long distance event. But I do want to make the point that since we're only racing a half marathon, and I don't mean to belittle the distance, because I know for a lot of you it's either your first time or 13 miles is a really long distance. It's the time duration that really requires the carb loading. And when you start getting to time durations of 2, 3, 4 hours, especially further and further, and we're talking about marathon distances, yeah, carb loading plays a huge component of being ready and getting to that start line sufficiently fueled. But with a half marathon, especially if we're looking 2 hours or less, or even just a little over 2 hours, we don't need to have a huge carb load. And if anything, we want to really avoid a maximum carb load the night before the race because it's going to just be really hard to digest. So with today being Wednesday, this is actually the perfect opportunity to start looking forward to how you can increase your carbohydrate intake in small ways. Here's what's worked for me, and this is my suggestion to you guys on our team. Starting tomorrow, Thursday, increase your carbohydrate intake or load by just 1 serving throughout the day. That means either breakfast, lunch, dinner, one of your snacks, just taking a little bit more carbohydrates. Now I'll tell you what works for me is definitely more processed carbs. Now this is definitely contrary to what we're usually recommending. We're usually saying carbohydrate intake should be non-starchy foods, should be lots of vegetables, things with lots and lots of fiber. And on the daily intake, that's perfect. But for come race day, all of that fiber actually sits in your gut a little bit and keeps you regular, but means that you have to use the bathroom more often. So we want to avoid that ever so slightly. Your body actually has enough fiber in its gastrointestinal tract to suffice itself and last for about 3 days. So especially starting on Friday, we can start to decrease your fiber intake just a little bit and increase your processed carbohydrate intake just a little bit. Now let's talk about what exactly to take in. Some things that end up working really well for me. White rice, because again, it's a processed carb. It doesn't have a whole lot of fiber to it, and that works really, really well. Fruits work really, really well for me, especially fruit juice. The difference between some fruits and fruit juice, for example, an apple or a pear, they actually carry a lot of fiber, but when you have the juice, they've taken all of the fiber out. So I know for myself, I like to get a lot of vitamin C because I don't want to get sick, especially with that being the experience I just had on my last race. So orange juice really, really works well for me. Some other things and other ways you can take it in. You can do your pastas. That for me, they don't have enough carbs for the small amount. And I don't want to take a lot of volume of food in. I just want to take a lot of density of the food in. So again, it works well for me. White rices, juices, bars, things like that, they work really, really well. Now looking forward to what the weather's going to have in store. Thank goodness this heat is going to break, and especially the wind as well. We should have a day that's gearing itself up for more 70-degree temperature rather than 90-degree temperature for a high. And the good thing is that the race is really early. It's at 6:15 in the morning. So most of you guys are going to be done by 8:30. I mean, we're going to really get done with the race before it even gets all that hot. But I can guarantee it'll be warm enough that you'll be sweating a good bit. So you're going to want to go into the race with some good fluid intake and electrolyte intake. And you can start gearing up that electrolyte intake the same time you are with your carb intake, right around Friday or so. And some things that have worked well for me are just carrying around drinks that have extra electrolytes in them. Whether it's electrolyte tabs, like a product called Nuun, N-U-U-N, or it might be a Cytomax powder, which for me works really, really well, or whatever you found works well for you in your training. Carry around extra electrolytes and definitely take in some extra fluids. A good rule of thumb, taking at least half of your body weight in fluid ounces throughout the day. Ideally, more around 2/3 to 3/4 of your body weight in fluid ounces. And then finally, let's just talk about regeneration and sleep just a little bit. This is a week in which you actually want to add on a little bit of sleep in small increments. I would actually suggest against going to bed really, really early on Saturday night, because sometimes that extra amount of sleep, if it's in the form of 2.5 extra hours of sleep the night before, might actually leave you a little groggy the next morning. You've practiced plenty of different times this season a regular sleep pattern for you, so just add a little bit on. Aim to get to bed maybe 15 minutes early and wake up about 15 minutes late. That extra 30 minutes should be enough to promote a little extra regeneration, get you to race day feeling ready to roll. So that's hopefully it. If you guys have any questions, I have plenty of other tips that have always worked for me. Everything from caffeine to exactly what workouts to go through, things of that nature. And I'd love to share them with you, but I don't want to take up too much time here. So go ahead, especially if this is one of your first races, email me, stop me in the club, shoot me a text, whatever it may be, and I'll help you get to that race day as effectively as possible. Don't forget, we'll still be meeting as a team on Thursday. And then if you can make it, on Friday at 5:30, we're going to meet at Greenleaf over in Costa Mesa for our quick team dinner. I'm really looking forward to this weekend. It's going to finish off what has been a great spring season and, more importantly, a fantastic 2013 to 2014 year for the EQRRC. We got a lot of fun stuff in store for you in the summer, but we're going to finish it off right this spring. Talk to you guys soon.